Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Are you ready to sing? Please open your gray hymnals to number 368, and we are going to open our service with song.
Am I or everybody just, okay, I'll hand it.
Slowly. We're slow readers.
Now let us sing, 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 let us sing, sing, for the Lord, be not afraid, let us sing to the power of faith within. Now let us sing, sing, now let us sing.
You all up. Good morning and welcome to everyone. It's International Literacy Day. I love it. It's also the Sunday closest to the anniversary of 9/11, so let us commemorate that terrible day with the reverence it deserves. I'm Sharon Whitehill, and I'm pleased to be your worship associate this morning for this service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County. As you have just experienced, we begin our service each week with music for everyone, whether you're watching on YouTube or are here in person in our sanctuary. The YouTube broadcast is live, and it will be available on the UUFCC YouTube channel after the service. If you would like to learn more about us or get your name tags made, please visit our website at uufcc.org and email also at uufcc.office@gmail.com. Is there anyone here with us for the first time this morning? I see no faces that I don't recognize, so I'm going to introduce our guests when the moment comes. These are our guests, Lora and VJ. But you will hear more as time goes on. This is a good time, by the way, to put your phones in worship mode, and also to be reminded that if the service goes a bit over time and you need to leave, please don't hesitate. We understand. Meanwhile, thanks to all whose time and effort make our services possible. That would be our tech people, building and grounds workers, our singers in the choir, and Ryan, our pianist, Janet, our leader, the office administrators, the decorators of the pulpit, the arts volunteers for art on the wall, those who help in the kitchen and clean up afterwards. A special plug for those who have already made and honored their pledges, just a gentle reminder, because this is what keeps us operational. We welcome everyone to our service, especially those searching for a spiritual home. Many of us, too, were once looking for something larger than ourselves, a place where we could belong and where we could find a sense of rootedness, creating meaning with others. So, if this is not the first time for everyone here that you are worshiping with us, but I trust that everyone will, whether it's a first time or not, will find ideas here that stretch your mind, that fill your hearts, and other people to befriend with the values that we hold dear. Ryan, please, may we have our prelude now? Thank you, Ryan. The lighting of the chalice is a ritual in our tradition, and I invite those of you watching at home to be ready to kindle your own chalices. And Mary Lou, would you be willing, I didn't ask you ahead of time, would you come forward and light the chalice for us? As Mary Lou comes forward and lights the chalice here in the sanctuary, please light yours at home. Today's words are by Steve Stock from the Worship Web. We light this chalice to celebrate the inherent worth and dignity of every person, to reaffirm the historic pledge of liberal religion, to seek that justice which transcends mere legality and moves us toward the resolution of true equality, to share that love which is ultimately beyond even our cherished reason, that spiritual love which unites us all. Please join me now in reciting our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you, Mary Lou. My opening words today are from a poet named Danez Smith. He is a queer, non-binary, HIV-positive Black poet from Minnesota, and the recipient of multiple awards. The excerpt from the poem I'll be reading is called A Note on the Body. And while you listen, I invite you to think of the people, the clients at Loveland Center, our guest organization today. Your body, still your body. You have all you need to be a hero. Don't save the world, save yourself. You worship too much, and if you worship too much, when prayer doesn't work, dance, fly, fire. This is your hardest scene when you think the whole sad thing might end. But you live. You live. Oh, you live. Every day you wake, you raise the dead. Everything you do is a miracle. Now, if you will please join us again in music, hymn number 1053 in your teal hymnals. How could anyone ever tell you? Please rise and bow to your spirit. Our book of life offers you the opportunity to share your joys and sorrows and life milestones with the rest of us by writing them in the red book. I forgot to bring it up. Will someone bring it to me from the back there? Trudy, thank you. You can also email these comments if you don't have the red book in front of you to sign by sending them to bookoflife@uufcc.org. You have to send them by the Saturday before the service. And now, after I read the entries here, I will invite you also to drop a stone in the water to commemorate any sorrows and joys you carry with you today. So let me see what we have in the red book. September 8th, 2024. The Eagles are back in Riverwood for another season. That's from Shelley. From Debbie, oh Debbie, welcome home. Debbie C. is back. She writes, just want to say thank you to everyone for your love and support. I have really felt it. And someone unidentified has noted, today is Grandparents' Day. Again, yay. Now, if you'd like to step forward and deliver your thoughts and joys and sorrows orally in the microphone, please form a line here. And remember, please, to keep these comments brief. They are being publicly broadcast on YouTube.
Good morning. I have a absolute pleasant thing. I just want to let everyone know that our Irene had a birthday, and it wasn't in the list of birthdays for this month, so Irene had a birthday this month. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Betty. I am with the Immigration Justice Committee. I'm here also to thank you as a representative of Charlotte Harbor LULAC, newly minted. And they sent 2 speakers here. And they got a second collection of $800, which was it's going to go a long way. It's a new organization. We're just getting on our feet. 3 of our members are part of LULAC, and we're sponsoring events for Hispanic Heritage Month. And the first one is coming up Saturday, September 14th at the Punta Gorda Library, a Hispanic art exhibition. So you're all invited. I have the flyer printed. I'll put it on our bulletin board. Thank you very much.
So I have 2 today, and the first one, we had a lovely afternoon and drugged Janet down to Sanibel with us for Cajun food at a wonderful place called Bud Bugs that's we haven't been to since before Ian, and they just recently reopened. The stunning thing about Sanibel is it's been 2 years almost. Within 2 weeks, it'll be 2 years since Ian made landfall, and the 3 of us can tell you how much is still torn up, how much is still uninhabitable, how many businesses are still not open 2 years later in Sanibel. It was actually quite pleasant and quite sparse. The amount of people was almost alarming how sparse the number of people at Sanibel was yesterday. And then today, I send a shout out to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lima, Ohio. Ryan and I both, our first UU congregation. He started going there in about 1997 for their PFLAG meeting, and that's what introduced him from Methodism to UU. And then, of course, he took me from Catholicism to UU there. And they're kind of my ideal about how a congregation should go because of their conflict resolution skills. We can learn a lot from that congregation, but today is their 70th anniversary, and that is so special because about 10 years ago, they were in great doubt whether they would continue to exist. And now they've made it to their 70th today.
I just wanted to comment that there's now 100 journalists have been killed in Gaza. So any news that we get is really difficult and dangerous, and we should be really glad about what we're getting news, but we should know that we're really, even what we're getting, we're not getting most of it, and it's just truly a genocide. It's very terrifying, really, to think of it and how we live normal lives every day, you know, when we have food to eat. And it just makes me so sad.
I'll now drop the final stone for those with concerns and joys, maybe too tender yet to speak aloud. And may we hold all of these in our hearts. Now, Loveland Center is a nonprofit with 2 locations, one in Port Charlotte, one in Northport, and it exists to help those with intellectual and developmental disabilities with the life skills they need to live full lives. Our guests this morning are Lora Carter is our primary speaker, but she brought with her V.J. Anderson, who is the philanthropy coordinator and may wish also to add a few words. I will tell you about Lora. She's the area director of the Northport location. She's had 29 years worth of experience in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities. She started as a peer tutor during her senior year of high school, and she continued at a summer camp with people from the ages of 5 to 21. And the work fired her up so much, fired such a passion within her, that it led to her bachelor's degree in moderate and severe disabilities from Eastern Kentucky University. That was in 2000. After that, she moved to Georgia to teach the severe, profound, and medically fragile for 15 years. She also coached for the Special Olympics during that time while in Georgia. And in 2016, she moved to Florida. She became a teacher for a while, but then her heart led her back to the people at Loveland Center, where again she could work as a supported employment coach, as a companion, team leader, and manager of the Adult Day program. So now she is newly excited to take on the role of area director, as I mentioned, in the Northport region. There she will be, I'm sure, an integral part of that whole area. And I want to welcome you, Lora, to UUFCC, and you too, VJ.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. That's a beautiful introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on, I gotta grab notes.
She's
Hold
a
on.
person.
Hello, everybody. I'm short. Good morning. How is everybody this beautiful Sunday? Thank you guys so much for allowing us to come out and speak with you guys today. Like Sharon said, my name is Lora Carter. I've been working with individuals with disabilities for almost, I don't know, could be 30 years at this point. Who keeps track at that point, right? And again, this is VJ, and I'm going to let her just kind of introduce herself a little bit.
Same thing. I'm the philanthropy coordinator, and the umbrella goes wide. I also handle volunteerism in our events that happen each year. I have a background similar to Laura in the industry, and honestly, I have a brother who has a disability, and then I worked as a speech-language pathologist, and I was an autism teacher and a DCD teacher, which was development and cognitively delayed individuals as well. So we kind of have a story, all of us in Loveland, that got us to where we are today, and that was a little bit of my story as well. But I handle the philanthropy now.
Yep. She's my support.
I'm the wing woman today.
She's my wing woman. So what we want to talk about today is our overall theme at Loveland, which is Dare to Dream. And if I start crying, I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about what we do. So think about that for a second. What does that mean to you guys? Dare to dream. Remember when you were little and you were like, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a fireman, right? Well, sometimes in the world of disabilities, our guys don't necessarily get the chance to dream about things. They don't get the chance to think outside that, oh, you're disabled. You can't. At Loveland, we try to encourage, oh my gosh.
Okay, that's why I'm here.
We try to encourage, yes, you can. You can do it. You dare to dream. You think outside the box. You know, we really encourage our participants to do anything they want to, right? Now, we have to talk about within reason, because some of them want to be things, and we're like, that takes a lot of time in school, but we can work towards it. There might be a part of it you can do. So that's kind of where we're starting. This is our mission, to help individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities live their lives to the fullest. Our vision is very similar to you guys. We believe that anybody can do anything, right? So that's really where we kind of do our best work. I'll wait for this to keep going. I kind of did it. We did a slideshow to kind of keep us on track. Some of the slides take a little bit longer than the others.
Well, another thing is we believe in independence, whether that be feeding yourself or independence where you work in the community, you're living alone. So we have a very broad spectrum of the individuals that visit Loveland and are a part of Loveland each day.
And you can see from some of our pictures, we have a wide variety of abilities as well. So we really encourage anyone from somebody who might need complete hands-on instruction to someone who's really independent and may just need a little bit of assistance with life skills. And we do tons and tons of outings. We'll get to that a little bit later. But you can see we really, Corey, what are you doing to me, man? You went backwards, go forwards. Anyway, sorry. Here we go. So we actually have 4 locations. We actually have our Port Charlotte location and our Northport location. Our largest location is our Venice location that's been around since the 60s. And then we have our location in Bradenton. So these are just a little bit of the facts for you. And this is really interesting because Florida, in case you guys didn't know, we are 49th in the country when it comes to services for disabilities. So when you think about that, and we have families calling us daily saying, hey, we're going to move down there from Michigan. Tell me about your services. And I have to look at them and say, don't do it. Stay with the snow. Enjoy the snow. Because we have a lot of families who move here and don't do their research, and they don't realize like how low we are when it comes to that. Now, some of that's because we don't have state tax. But our funding, when you look at our funding for our services, you're looking at 23,000 individuals and some who are waiting on a wait list to get services from the state of Florida. So we at Loveland do what we can to provide those services. There is state funding. We're going to say state funding. It's called the Medicaid waiver. But again, that's part of this wait list of 23,000 people sitting on it, right? So when you're looking at what they can provide, so once you get on the wait list, once you get on the waiver, they do provide monies for you to be able to come to a day program like Loveland provides, or an after-school program, or something to that, maybe even getting help within your home. But prior to that, it's all private pay, and private pay is very expensive. The state only wants for us to pay our staff $15 an hour, and we at Loveland pay our staff much more than that because it's a hard job, and we need them to come in every day, and we need them to have a purpose. So when you look at what the state gives us in comparison to what we give back to our staff and to run our facilities, and we have transportation, it doesn't equal. It doesn't equal at all. And it's a problem throughout the whole state. There's lots of states that are going through this, but we at Loveland really try and help as many individuals as we can. And it's hard financially sometimes, especially as a nonprofit. People just think, oh, you guys get money from everywhere. We do not. We do not, unfortunately. So.
And even if we do, it gets used right away, So we have a lot of needs, whether that be the transportation, the vans that are constantly being used all day, the food for our Hardy Kitchen Academy, and some of the things we'll tell you about. There's a lot more needs beyond the $15 an hour that we get that only pays for staff, not for insurance, not for facilities, not for other staff, all of the above.
Again, this is just kind of an overview of the different programs that we do provide through Loveland. We have adult day training. We have, go back one, Corey, go back. Okay, so we have adult day training, we have community and home base, we have recreation, we provide clinical services. We have our own OT, PT, and speech therapist on staff that come to each location to provide those services for our individuals who need it, which is amazing. Oh, and we do outpatient as well. Yes, thank you, VJ, and the whole community. So if you're looking for someone, give us a call. Then we also have our transportation piece, like VJ was talking about. We have a fleet of cars that have to be maintained. We have to, keep up. We go out in the community daily. And then we have children's services. We also do an after-school program because, unfortunately, a lot of our children with disabilities cannot go to their local school after school because it's like one staff to 30 children. And so you have a friend who's a little fun, as I like to call them. you just don't have enough supervision. So we saw that need, so we opened up our own after-school program. Okay, we can move on. So again, these are just some pictures of what we do during our adult day training. So adult day training is Monday through Friday. Again, we serve anyone from the age of 16. I believe we can start at 16 all the way up to, my oldest is 74. And she is fabulous. and we love her. So these are just some of the things we do. We work on cooking skills. And like VJ said, all these things take money. All these things take income to provide activities for them to be able to do what we do on a daily basis. So we work on cooking skills. We go out in our community a lot. We love our Northport and Port Charlotte parks. And but you can see we have there's another picture of our van. And we'll get into volunteering a little bit later. We do a lot of volunteering within our community because, again, we have people who give to us. We have to give back as well. It's a give-give situation. But then you can see also the variety of abilities that we have. So we have some who are a little more independent and some who are more hands-on. Do you want to talk about anything ADT-wise?
What?
Do you want to talk about anything ADT-wise?
We have micro programs within our programs. So we have an overall adult day training program, but that Dare to Dream philosophy comes in when they might want a specific skill worked on. The other day they were asking for hospitality. There were some individuals that are now living on their own, but they don't know how to have guests over. How do we do that? What pieces do you need to put into place? How do I make coffee? How do I sit down? How do I set a table? Those type of things. We have Hearty Kitchen Academy that wants to learn how do I make a meal. They actually do some catering for me as well. I will ask them if Northport Chamber came, or was it the Northport Leadership came, and they put together a thing. We never tell them they need to do that. We always ask, is that something you want to do? Is that something you want to tackle? And they'll do it, which is awesome. So that's another piece. We have in the Venice location, we have an art program, a theater program as well as that Hearty Kitchen Academy, and then the general day training program. We have little sprinkles of it in our other locations as well, but our Venice is more of a campus. It's large enough to be able to do that. We have dreams of the other locations having the same options.
The other thing I just wanted to mention about our day programs too, I just forgot what I was going to say. So sorry. They are awesome. I'll come back to it, but I do have like a little story I would like to tell about one of our day programs in our Northport location. We had a family who, single mom, two individuals in wheelchairs, very hands-on, was about to lose her job. She had a caregiver. Her caregiver ended up getting cancer. Look, I'm crying again. And so her caregiver was no longer able to be in the house. She was desperate. She goes, what do I do with my children? We were able to bring them into our facility or our agency, and she was able to go back to her job at Publix and work again. And she knew that during the day her kids were safe and they were able to do things with peers and go out in the community and do all that stuff while she was able to get back to her job. So that is another reason why places like Loveland are so vital to our community. Okay, we can move on. And again, that's just some more pictures of, again, what we just talked about, learning life skills. So we do everything from art to different things. This is our community integration piece. Another thing is equality through opportunity. Think about that for a second. Equality through opportunity. You want everybody to have equal opportunities, right? So that's another thing that we really, really encourage at Loveland is we go to everywhere they want to go, really, within reason. Like, I would love to go to Busch Gardens every day, but we cannot go to Busch Gardens every day. So community integration is very important for us. We do a lot of, we go to, the store to work on money skills. We go to restaurants to work on restaurant skills. We do all the things that everybody else does without even thinking about. You get in your car, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Walmart. You get in the car, you go to Walmart, you get your items, you go home. A lot of these guys don't always have those opportunities. Some do not live at home. Some live in group homes. And the group homes are not always able to just go when they're ready to go. It has to be planned out. So a lot of their choices are kind of taken from them. So throughout our program day, that's the one thing we focus on is what is your choice. We do everything based off of, when we do our schedules, it is their choice of what they want to do. Again, within reason. So that's a really nice thing. Okay, moving on. This is just a picture of our transportation. So we have a whole fleet of vehicles. Each one of our locations has 3 to 4 vehicles, if not more. We have vans, we have cars. And again, they all need service. They all need oil changes and tires. And without them, we cannot do all the lovely things that we do. So again, they are really important in our lives because our guys want choices. They want to go out in the community. And we can't if we do not have working, running cars and vehicles to be able to get around. And and that's the other, we also do some transportation as far as coming to and from program. If they would live within 10 miles of our program, we can actually go and pick them up. If we don't have cars, guess what we're not doing? We can't go get them. So that might mean that they miss a day of program or they can't come to program because nobody else can get them there. Maybe mom and dad are already at work or, they just don't have a way to get there. Their caregiver can't bring them. They don't drive, different things like that. Everything you want to say about it?
Oh, you did great.
Do you guys have any questions so far or anything? No? Okay, we're just going to keep on going. Yeah. This is just a beautiful picture of our clinical services. So again, like I was saying, we do offer speech therapy, occupational therapy, as well as physical therapy. Our therapists are amazing. We offer that on all 4 campuses. So our clinical staff travels. We also offer the outpatient services. They do a lot with younger children, but we also have some adults that come to our facilities to do therapies with our clinical staff. That's really all I got to say about that. This is our HERO program, and it is our after-school program for our school-age kids. It started in Northport, at our Northport location, back in 2019. We did have to stop for a little bit because of COVID, but we are back and up and running now. We have about 8 in our program in Northport, and again, we provide transportation. We go and pick them up from their schools, and then we are able to bring them to our program, and it's for 3 hours after school, and it, again, provides parents the opportunity to be able to work a full-time job. If it wasn't for us, a lot of them would not be able to do that. They would have to leave work early. They'd have to figure out other transportation. And we have a lot of families who are here who do not have other family who are able just to come over and watch their young children. And we have some who, there's a lot of people out there who just don't understand our guys. And so we have another story from a family who attends our HERO program. I'm going to let VJ read it or else I'm going to cry through it. So
Yeah. So this is a story from a family that is a big part of the Northport location. Our family moved to Florida from Iowa in 2022. The transition was tough on the kids, and we struggled to find after-school options. Without the HERO program, we would not be where we are today. HERO provides a program we can trust, operated by individuals who are compassionate and knowledgeable. Without HERO, I have no idea how our family would have managed, and I'm certain I wouldn't be at where I am in my career today. In fact, I wouldn't have the position I now have without the support of Loveland, now until not only is the program welcoming, they go above and beyond by providing fun activities for the kids and truly making the kids feel cared for. My kids look forward to going to Loveland after school and have connected with the staff, learning and growing through their guidance. Hero has truly been a key component to our daily success and the growth of the children. I am so thankful. And it's a respite, so the helping,
everyone realize opportunities.
which is also a respite program as well. So I will say we offer scholarships now because actually going to the school after school program is about $150. To come to our program, it would be about $400. So for that, we almost call it a disability tax. There's some costs involved for that. So now we're offering help on that as well. Fair to say.
So, but it's a great program. We have a great group of children. Yes, ma'am.
Well, the state, now this is all, the services you provide are very educational. They're teaching how to. So the state provides.
Semantics, but yeah.
for charter schools, they give money. Or does the state give you money for what you do?
No. So what she's asking because charter schools and specialized schools receive money from the state, do we also receive funding from the state? The plain and simple answer is no, we don't. Because we are adult services, we are not a school. We are a program. We are a nonprofit. So the only monies that we are making are individuals who are on that Medicaid waiver that I was talking about earlier. And even at that, they only pay out for one participant. It's $36 a day is all we get. And that has to pay for everything. So you're talking about staff, you're talking about building maintenance, you're talking about, and our staff, like I said, we pay our staff quite a bit of money. So that $36 does not even pay for a whole staff's 8 hours.
I'll jump in. It's more than the industry pays for, but it's still not as much for what they do.
Right. So, no, we don't. And it's because we are not a,
And you feed your students too.
no, they have to bring their own lunches and things like that. Through our Hardy Kitchen Academy that is at our Venice location, that's really the only program that they focus on cooking skills like all day long. So they do a lot of times eat what they make, and sometimes they have extra and they'll serve it out. But ultimately, no, our guys have to bring their own lunches, their own snacks. But again, we do activities where we pay for it and we do provide it. We have a lot of families who send in a lot of food a lot of time. They're like, here, we have all this extra food, we'll send it in. And that's just the niceness of our families. So, yeah, but we don't really get funding. We do have now the great thing, and we'll talk about that, I think, in a little bit. We do have Feed the Hungry through All Faith Food Bank. They actually come, and at our Venice location, they have apartments. We own them, but we don't manage them. It is called the Loveland Villages. They actually do a food pantry for them, a food shelf, sorry you say. So they come deliver food on Tuesdays, and anybody can come use that. The staff can come, the participants can come. So that's been a big help for some of our individuals, because our individuals are also on very limited budgets. A lot of them do not work. All they get is their Social Security, which is minimal. And off that Social Security, they're paying for their lives, they're paying for their apartments, they're paying if they have a phone, they're paying if they have cable, all of that through that tiny little bit of money that they receive. So that's another reason. Anything that we can do to help our individuals, we do. I don't know where we are on time-wise. Are we about there? If you wanted to just go through a few more of these, do you want to just fast forward? Because I think we're done time-wise, sorry. I just want to make sure. These are just different places that we volunteer at. We do the Homeless Coalition. We do Meals on Wheels, Backpack Angels. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Peace River Botanical Gardens, Fandango Sanctuary, which is out in Inglewood. So we're always looking for volunteer opportunities. So if any of you guys have any, we are also always looking for volunteers. So if any of you guys would like to come out and volunteer with us, please, either let VJ or myself know. We would love it. Other than that, I think really, does anybody else have any questions or anything? Comments? Yes, ma'am. So each location has different amounts, but we serve up to about 400 to 500, weekly through all of our different programs. Yep. So. Yes.
The 23,000 waiting list, is that statewide or just local?
That is statewide. That is statewide. That's for the whole state of Florida. So, but it's still sad that we have 23,000 people waiting for services. So.
Other questions? We have time for one more.
Anybody?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I hope I get this right.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you letting us come.
We will now have a hymn, and after that, we will take our offering, regular offering, and our second helping. So the hymn is number 331, Life is the Greatest Gift of All. That's your gray hymnal. Please stand in body or spirit. And now, if the ushers will come forward, this offering supports our fellowship and everything we value here. There are donation envelopes in the back for those of you who need them, or you can email checks to the through the Venmo app, or send your checks to the office or pay through the Venmo app. Okay. This is now for the second helping, coming around to support Loveland Center. Thank you for your generosity. The life of the community is next, and I have some announcements here, but I call your attention also to the list on the back of your order of service. The calendar shows you what is going on at UUFCC for this coming week. The lunch bunch is going to Healthy Foe, is that correct? So everybody's invited to join the lunch bunch. I have an announcement from the art committee. It's call for artwork for our next display. Less than 2 weeks left to create your artwork for the Climate Justice Revival theme. Any artwork that reflects nature or the environment or climate change, those themes are all appropriate, and so are the media, paintings, photos, collage, small sculptures of recycled items. All of that is acceptable. Please include a 3x5 card with comments on the art. And if you have questions, you can ask Trudy or Tom or Cheryl. Receiving for this artwork will be on Friday, September 20th at 10 a.m. We have good news from John Lee. CHAPS has found a successor to Mercy Chick, and operations will continue after the first of the year. Yeah. They will offer reverse Advent bags to fill with hygienic items for Christmas. So that's wonderful news, John. Good. And Ryan, if you would come up again, Ryan will tell you about our compost issue. Yeah.
So Ryan Smith did a pretty gruesome task on Wednesday afternoon and has been in contact with our compost guru, Bill, via email. We got enthusiastic with our compost bin, but unfortunately there wasn't any maintenance going on. And so the bugs that you saw inside the church were a direct result of that. Ryan pulled the lid open on the compost bin, and he had an entire flight of thousands of palmetto bugs, among other things. The end result of that was that the compost bin had to be emptied and taken to the back lot because it was no longer viable. So we wanted everybody to remember things that were found in the compost bin when the clean out happened was plastic bags, metal silverware, bits of meat and meat bones. Those things cannot go in our compost bin. It's coffee grounds, eggshells, vegetable and fruit peelings. That's it. We don't want anybody to stop using the compost bin, but we need to be mindful of those things because the offices had to have our bug people out like 3 times in the last month, and now we kind of know why. So just keep that in mind.
A very needed reminder for all of us. The closing words today are from the poet Marge Piercy, and I'd like to dedicate these particular words to Lora and our co-workers, as well as to all the organizations that we've hosted who give so much of themselves to be of use. Marge Piercy's poem, which I've amended for brevity's sake, is in fact entitled, "To Be of Use." The people I love best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bag along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but who move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is as common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing, well done, has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn. These are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. Our closing music is again from the Teal Hymnal. Please join us in body or spirit, hymn number 1058, Be Ours a Religion. Stand in body or spirit and join us. The chalice, Mary Lou, will you come forward again, please? And this will close our service. Let us join together and read the words printed in your order of service for extinguishing the chalice, which I don't have. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May those ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. Go now in peace. I remember them all by heart. Yay. Thank you. Join us in the social hall for refreshments and conversation.